All right, what is up, Seedzoids? We finally have the final day of Stage 2 of the Major. I just wanted to say I've actually gotten 2 subscribers since I've started doing these daily Major updates. Doesn't sound like a lot, but I went from 32 to 34, which I would say, a win is a win. And I appreciate you guys for engaging in the content. Just to get into this, it's obviously a short day. We have M80 versus Passion. I, along with a lot of other people, thought M80 would win this. Grim actually even said it's nice to play against other NA teams, but it sucks when it's major elimination, which is I think pretty much how everyone feels. It's obviously nice to have one NA team make it, but it would have been nice to have 2, and both of these are pretty good teams, so I would have been confident with either of them against some of these other people. But it is what it is. Grim played well, Lake played well. Those are the 2 people that I said needed to play well, and Grim just kind of did it better. But, if you look at the team, Lake is the only person to do better than their worst player. So, it is what it is. We have Liquid. I'm always going to root for Liquid. I had great confidence that they would win. They did. It was kind of an insane match, actually. NAF didn't really have a great map 1. With 0.76, which I think is a little harsh for only going -3, but it is what it is. Of course, Ultimate went 24-9, 1.78 rating. I don't know if any of you guys saw this. First half, he went 19-3, which is crazy. And then he didn't even really fall off that much. He went, 5-6 on the T side, but it's T side Duke, so what do you expect with an AWPer especially? Going into Mirage, ultimate top frag. Well, didn't top frag, but top scored again. +8 round win is crazy. NAF kind of stepped it up, which is what I always like to see. I am a day 1 NAFer, so I like to see that. Great ratings. My boy clawed it back. Had almost a 1.1 rating on the series after a bad first map. Everyone except Shuey went positive, and even he had some positive round win. So. I would say that was a pretty great match. NIP versus 3D Max. I thought NIP were going to win this. They just fell apart. It's a little sad. Maka has been doing pretty bad recently. Not bad, but he's been putting up like a 1.0 rating, which isn't what you want to see. He is generally their best player, and once he gave up the IGL role, people thought he was going to do a lot better, and he hasn't been. But obviously he locked in for this game. I said Kaspersky is who you were expecting good results from if you want to win, and 0.93 is just not going to get it done. Even with some of these worst performances, I think if Wrinkle and Kaspersky are playing really well, that'll stop people from dying, first of all, to bring these up, but also obviously it would be a much closer match. There's only 3 games, there's not much to say there. I will start getting into my predictions for Stage 3. I think Mouse versus Paravision, because it's a best of 1, I can't really tell. I honestly do think that Paravision are just an insanely underranked team, first of all. I think that they have probably close to a 50-50 chance of beating Mouse in this best of 1. I think they would actually have a better chance in a best of 3. But Paravision were kind of BO1 merchants for the first 2 stages, so I expect a lot out of them. I think Maus in general are going to be a better team. All of these, they haven't played in probably a single Tier 2 tournament at all this year. So all these ratings are against top 10, 20 opponents mostly. But I think Paravision kind of have that dog in them. They kind of got that fight. So if we have a great performance from James, which we haven't really been seeing, we need Noda. Noda, I don't know if you guys have been watching that much. I saw a couple Dust 2 matches. I think against Liquid, he had a half. He was 21-2 or something. And then on their final match of Stage 2, he also went 17-2 on Dust 2 for a half. So he's going crazy. As long as we get the whole team in here, I think it'll be a close derby. I do think that Maus are the better team still, but I think that it will be close just because I think they have more of a fight to them. Imperial versus Mongols. This is going to be close in a bad way because Imperial has that fight in them. I think that they are, I would just say, unfortunately for them, I would say less skilled players than the Mongols. But the Mongols have also not been playing well. So I would give this a pretty even chance as well, just because Imperial's been playing, I would say, above how they're expected to. Mongols below how they're expected to. I mean, the rank difference already says what it is, but I think that this will be a pretty even matchup as well. I would not be surprised if Imperial wins this. The Mongols definitely should win this on paper, but I think this will be an interesting one as well. Spirit versus Liquid. Liquid did really, really bad in their best of ones, and I don't necessarily expect them to lock it in for stage 2. But Spirit in general have also looked really bad recently. I think they're down to VRS 8? Yeah, VRS 8. So they haven't been looking great, and obviously best of ones are even more unstable. I think that, actually, I'm just going to say this now. I think all these games are going to be a lot closer than people think. If they aren't close, it's going to be shocking. I would not. Well, I wouldn't say shocking. I wouldn't be surprised if Spirit or if Liquid win this and the other team gets single-digit rounds. But I do expect a good fight here. I think that a lot of these players can lock in. I think if Ultimate locks in, it's going to be a game changer here because Shiro in their previous matchups has just destroyed Ultimate on the AWP head-to-head. I think Shuhei is actually, I mean, you look at the rating, I think he is actually better than Chopper, which is something that cannot be said for a lot of matchups with Liquid. Shuhei tends to be one of, if not the worst player in the lobby. It's nothing against that, he's an IGL, but it's nice to be better than the other IGL. So I think that this will be a pretty fun matchup to watch, if nothing else. Passion UA versus G2. I haven't really seen G2 play a lot recently. I just don't think they have recently. I would give G2 the edge over Passion here, just because of like raw skill difference. I do expect a fight here. I'd say G2 has a slight edge over Passion here, but Passion have also had an entire stage of 5 matches in a major to kind of warm up into things. So I think a lot of these stage 2 teams coming into stage 3 are going to have an advantage in that way, even if they are at a disadvantage, just maybe like raw skill wise. But yeah, I think that it should be a good matchup. FaZe versus Vitality. I think this is tough because FaZe just randomly locked in stage 2 after almost going out 1-3 in stage 1. I don't know if they can hold it against Vitality. I think Vitality should have the edge on this. I don't think that. I mean, Brokey is not playing well, and when he has been locking in, it's been like an average AWPer performance, even if it's an above average, like I guess, player performance. So I think that Vitality will be winning this one, but it is a best of 1. You never know. I think in a best of 3, Vitality would beat FaZe like 4 out of 5 times. Pain look awful. I don't know how they're still number 10. I think their VRS is a lot. Yeah, number 18 VRS. So 3D Max is actually above them right now by 2 ranks. I think 3D Max should win this. I think that Pain is a decent choice to go out 0-3, unfortunately, the major. Again, as always, best of 1s are a lot more difficult. I don't see Pain winning any best of 3s in this major. So they definitely have a chance in this, but I do think the 3D Max are going to pull away with it. We have Furia versus Navi. Wonderful and Bit they've just played insane in their stage 2 debut. They haven't really. I think Navi also haven't had a ton of huge competition in recent months, so we haven't got to see a lot of them, but I think that this should be a pretty even matchup. Wonderful in stage 2 at least was playing better than, was playing the same way Molotov has been playing, I guess, in general. So if he can keep that up, that'll be a really good duel. I think that they will, if they're both playing how I would expect them to play, I think it's going to be Molotov versus Wonderful on top of the leaderboard. Bit versus Caserado as well. That's going to be interesting. I think Bit is still an anchor, so, I mean, putting up this rating as an anchor is crazy. But I think that this will be mostly an AWPer head-to-head here. Finally, we have Bait Falcons. I expect Bait to win this solely because Falcons are major chokers. That's what they do. They didn't even make it to stage 3 of the last major. I think their only roster change is Kiosuke instead of Magisk, who Magisk is actually playing pretty well on Astralis, so kind of goes to show. Modesty obviously has to lock in. He is the bread and butter of what Falcons is with this roster. I think Tesses and Kickson, I think they need to at least put up their 1.0 average rating. Because Falcons are not a roster where you can really like drag your team with you to the win, if that makes sense. I don't think Mondesi is great in clutches. He's also great in openers. I don't want to undermine that at all, but he's not necessarily the player who I would expect to drag four guys across the finish line. So you're going to need Kiosuke to do above average. You're going to need Nico to do above average. And you're going to need these guys to at least do average. Because Bate do just have, I guess, they have a very much a winner's mentality. So, yeah, that's about it for all these. I think it'll be a really, really good day of Counter-Strike. And I guess this will be Thursday, actually, not tomorrow. But I'm excited. I think everyone else should be too. And that's about it.